Who wants to talk about some phones? I think we could probably, start talking about some red boxed devices. This box says 12R on it. Or do we want to spend some time? I'm gonna take this little case off of it. Or do we want to spend some time talking about this sort of like marble jade device here, which is a 12. We've got to get the disclosures out of the way. OnePlus has sent me a pair of devices to talk about on my channel. OnePlus is still managing a 2-stage embargo. There's a lot that I still don't know about the 12 and 12R. I've been using the 12 quite a bit. I've got tons of camera and photography samples, but they have asked that I not turn the device around or show it active. Very early impressions, just me kind of sharing here right now. This is a significant course correction for me on where we were with the OnePlus 11. A brief history of OnePlus devices. The OnePlus 10 Pro was trying to be a good Pro device, but it was saddled with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, and it was the first year that OnePlus had kind of severed its relationships with North American carriers. So the OnePlus 11 was a course correction for a more affordable device. They didn't come out with a OnePlus 11 Pro. The OnePlus 12 is basically a OnePlus Open that doesn't open. It is a premium tier device. It's not an Ultra. Like, I wouldn't put this up against, a Galaxy Ultra or the Oppo Find X7 Ultra, but it is purpose-built to go up against other devices like Galaxy S24 Pluses. And what they sent over, and so this is where I get a little stuck. This is where they've talked about like, hey, we would appreciate it if you don't like disclose pricing and availability. I don't know pricing and availability. They haven't shared that with me, so I can't tell you how much it's gonna cost or when exactly it will be available to ship. But when I say this is basically an open that doesn't open, I feel people should understand how cool that is. The OnePlus Open is a phenomenally good device. I can confirm this is running the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. It does have a triple camera sensor layout. The lenses are a little different than the lenses on the OnePlus Open. It does return wireless charging and AirVook, which is the 50-watt wireless charging. When you plug this into like a OnePlus charging brick, you can go from 0 to full, I don't know, roughly 25, 30 minutes, depending on, what state. I know on the OnePlus 11, I let it get to power discharge where it couldn't boot, and it took 33 minutes. All told, it took 33 minutes to charge from completely empty wouldn't boot to 100%. Go Starscream. So it's a OnePlus closed then. Actually, that's pretty good. We should call this the OnePlus closed. It is though. I mean, everything that we've praised and we've enjoyed, the Open is showing us that OnePlus is making its own flavor of device. It is uniquely OnePlus. It's not stock Android. It's, Oxygen OS, which is built on Color OS, which we talked about all of those new animations. The cameras are brutally competitive, and it's returning things that we lost on the OnePlus 11. Not only proper USB 3, but video output. So video output returns. I'm really excited to see that. It was a great feature to have on the OnePlus 10 Pro. I was so sad when the OnePlus 11 lost it, and now it's back. So if I take a pair of XR glasses, or I plug this into an external display or a TV or a portable monitor, you will get a video signal out to the device. And then just as like a fun little quirk of design, I kind of like the new button layout. So you've got a power button and volume rocker on the same side, and then the notification switch, that slider is on the opposite side. And it's not a huge deal, but some phones lay these out in ways where I go to turn the phone off or the screen off, and I accidentally will trigger a screenshot because the volume is on the other side from the power button. The other thing that's really good about this new button arrangement is how high up the power button is. The power button is pretty high up on the device, so if I put this in a phone mount, I can get really close to the power button and the phone is basically balanced. Let me kind of dig through a couple comments or questions here. 8 Gen 3, they sent over a review unit with 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage space. We want the Juan model, the one that's jaded. Jermaine's more green than the OnePlus 12, he's so jealous. Zane is saying, let me see that 12R. We're gonna cover the 12R in just a bit here. Ghost Star Screaming, is the R the new T? I don't know, but I don't think so. I feel 12R and 12 are like OnePlus 9 and OnePlus 9 Pro. And some years we've seen, like in the 7 generation, we saw OnePlus 7 and OnePlus 7 Pro, but not every region got both phones. And then later we also got OnePlus 7T and OnePlus 7T Pro. And again, not every region got the same phones. Just like Xiaomi, I think T series is going to represent something different. I don't know if OnePlus is going to put out a T series. They might stick with just the 2-device strategy. We'll have to see. It would be exciting to me if we just got OnePlus R, OnePlus Number, and then OnePlus Open later in the year. And I think that's a great way to kind of keep people excited about what's going on with OnePlus over the course of the year. And it's really easy to explain what that lineup looks like. Yeah, charger alone is probably a $30 value. The Warp 65 charger is still my favorite. So this comes with the newer, this is the same Warp charger that was with the Open. That's why I'm holding this up, because this isn't the charger that came with my OnePlus 12. This is the charger that came with my OnePlus Open. Same charger though. And here in the United States, you can kind of count on a pretty solid 80-watt charging, which you can miss me with Samsung and Apple. When they're like, oh, it's got super fast charging. And you're like, it's 30 watts. That's not super fast. That's really slow in this day and age. That is horrifically slow. But it really is like 10 minutes and you have a whole extra day of runtime. And that charger is in the box. The thing that makes me sad is OnePluses, unlike Vivos or Xiaomi's, no longer come with cases in the box. I think it would be nice just to have a basic clear bumper just to start you off. But I can't hit OnePlus too hard when they have the fastest charging in North America, and the fastest charger is included in the price of the phone. So thankfully, I forget what company it is. The same company that made my terrible bumper for the OnePlus 11 also puts out a bumper for the OnePlus 12. And I had this on order before I had the OnePlus 12 come in. It's a $7 piece of plastic. Ron Guido, with the bigger battery, it seems like it might take a few extra minutes. Yeah, you're not gonna notice it. Because the other thing that changes your relationship with a phone that has fast charging is you're not concerned about getting to 100%. The charging speed from 20% to 80% is so shockingly fast that you kind of just use it in that window, which is actually better for your battery than always kind of trickle charging it all the way up to 100%. I don't plug in overnight. I only plug in when I absolutely need to. And even in the most like severe situations, like say I can only plug it in for 5 minutes. 5 minutes can give me a whole afternoon of runtime. It probably is noticeable if you have like the 11 and the 12 side by side and you plug both in, you let them charge from completely empty to completely full. The OnePlus 11 is gonna do that a little bit faster, but we're talking about a total charge from 0 to 100 in roughly 30 minutes. It's so fast. Vazikos is saying, I'm sorry, but the rumored telephotos on the S24 and S24 Plus remain unchanged. It's simply a fail from Samsung. I can't wait to see reviewers comparing them with OnePlus 12 and do the mental gymnastics. If you want a sneak peek at what the OnePlus 12 cameras can do, you can go to patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy and look up my camera deep dive on the OnePlus Open. And I'll spoil a little bit of that. These cameras are stonking good. They're just genuinely really good cameras for a phone, let alone a foldable phone. It's very similar to what we have on the OnePlus 12. Let's see, Aditya is saying OnePlus max spec $1,200, Xiaomi S24 Ultra not maxed out $1,200, maxed out around $1,600. So I would, okay, so here's the thing. I still would not pit a OnePlus 12 up against a Galaxy Ultra. A Galaxy Ultra is a Note. It is a productivity diesel truck of a workhorse phone, pulling out that S Pen, getting notes done, getting spreadsheets and documents worked on, plugging in, having decks. The Ultra is a Note. The Note 24 is gonna be a beast of a work computer. The OnePlus 12 is head-to-head, feature for feature, design for design to go up against an S24 Plus. An S24 Plus has nothing to do with a Note 24. They get all the influencers to go out there and say, look how great the S24 Ultra is, knowing that a bunch of consumers are going to go to their carriers and say, I want an S24. And then they'll say, hey, we've got this one, it's real cheap. And they'll be like, a YouTuber said the S24 was the best, so I'll get the cheapest S24, and that'll be the best of the cheap phones. And they have nothing to do with each other. So I think the fair comparison is S24 Plus against OnePlus 12, and I think just like we've seen in years past, that is going to be a very strong comparison for OnePlus in terms of overall price to performance. Barry Johnson, I think it will be $999 to match Samsung, but when you order the 16512, it will most likely be on sale for $899 during pre-orders. I think that's a pretty solid guess. I'm hoping, again, they have not told me. I'm hoping that OnePlus dumps 128. I'm hoping OnePlus dumps 128 as the starting storage. In North America, sell a 256 and a 512 and then just let it go. Gormlord, I know that the OnePlus Open has DisplayPort out. Is that the OnePlus standard? Again, it is on the OnePlus 12. OnePlus 12 returns video out through the USB-C. JMan150, do you think 12 gigs should be the base for RAM? I genuinely don't have a philosophical problem with 8 gigs of RAM on even a premium tier device if we're assuming that the majority of the use on that device is going to be more communicator and smartphone-y types of things. The second you start driving a phone harder for more compute tasks, you know, the extra 50% more RAM, that helps the overall performance of what these devices can do. This is the tricky part of this transition. When we talk about AI, and AI is being done on device, you need a ton more RAM to facilitate a good user experience on device. So I can't easily put a number out there. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know if AI will take off and become a consumer feature that people care about. Even if they don't know this is AI, if they think, oh, my phone gets so much smarter and I can talk to it and do these other things and it opens up this potential and I can say, hey, draw me a picture of this, and then it does. So if you think AI is going to be something you're going to want to play with over the next several years, you need to overbuy RAM today, because we can't upgrade the RAM in our phones. 16 gig is gonna feel claustrophobic in 2 years if AI explodes. Top spec OnePlus 12 in China has 24 gigs of RAM on it, and we should all laugh, unless you do believe in the future of AI. So yeah, we can mock it. You'll never touch 24 gigs of RAM in daily operation just using your phone to do traditional smartphone things, but 2 years from now, that OnePlus 12 might age so much better than like a Galaxy S24. So Golan, it seems to be that OnePlus 12 will be the flagship device with the most affordable periscope for the global market. It depends on region, but an X100 Pro might go toe-to-toe with OnePlus in some regions. I'm saying, like, the shots that I've been pulling off with the OnePlus 12 telephoto have been very good. Ron Guido, does using RAM expansion work well with AI? So basically, that's just swap space. Every computer has swap space. You have a hard drive, and when you run out of RAM, there's a penalty, a performance penalty, as you move temporary information to an SSD and then sort of get it back through the RAM to then compute on whatever it is that you're working on. And no, I would not count on swap space to be an adequate solution for devices sold this year with 8 to 12 gigs of RAM aging out of the AI conversation. Yeah, Michael Peppertech, I'm telling you, man, the international prices are crazy. Or I should say the Chinese import prices are crazy. The 24 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte model of the OnePlus 12 is $999 on GizTop. That's the same price as the 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabyte S23 Plus. And then compare that to an iPhone 15 Plus. And there is no world in which an iPhone 15 Plus is gonna be a better phone than this. The iPhone 15 Plus is an embarrassing option to put up against a OnePlus 12. The triple cameras, the better display, the higher peak brightness, Return to the notification slider. Not only the faster wired charging, but faster wireless charging. It has an IR blaster if you want to use it as universal remote. And it's going to come with more storage than an iPhone 15 Plus. This conversation has been wonderfully consistent from OnePlus. From the OnePlus 8 Pro to today, if you do a feature for feature comparison against a Galaxy S or an iPhone, the OnePlus is gonna win. It's gonna be a better dollar to performance and dollar to feature than anything Apple or Samsung can put out. But you've got a bunch of techies out there that just want someone that they can know will lose in the grand popularity conversation, so they can go, oh, well, it's not good enough. Better luck next year, OnePlus. The Samsungs are gonna be more popular. I'm Jermaine. The OnePlus 12 gets a charger, a much faster charger included, and a case possibly. No case on the North American OnePlus 12. So the OnePlus 12 I have does have a bumper, but I had to buy that bumper myself. It does have the crazy fastest charger included in the price of the phone in the box. So as soon as you hear someone say, well, I mean, it's like, you know, you want to compare, it's the best OnePlus, so you should compare it against the best Samsung. They're trying to rig a win for Samsung, right? They're not playing fair. They're not comparable devices. However people want to use the word comparable, that's not what it is. But then they'll also give Samsung a pass because to buy the fastest charger for a Samsung should be another $30 added on to the price of the phone. And they're not going to do that, oh, but I mean, it takes like twice or 3 times as long to charge a Samsung as it does to charge a OnePlus. And I had to spend an extra $30 or $40 to get a charger for the Samsung to charge it at 1/3 the speed as my OnePlus that came with the charger in the box. Yeah, my voice is getting real fuzzy, so we should talk about the 12R just a little bit because I have not used that one as much. The OnePlus 12R is in a very precarious position, IMO. Where is this is my OnePlus 11. I should have pulled the OnePlus 11 out. I'm gonna keep the OnePlus 11 in this roughed up bumper case. This is the OnePlus 11, this is the OnePlus 12R. The 12R is going to be very similar to the OnePlus 11, but we are going to see some camera downgrades. This is where I'm saying that the OnePlus 12R is going to be in a slightly precarious position because you can find some stonking good sales on the OnePlus 11. Very similar performance, similar chipsets, slightly better cameras, and a year less software support. I kind of feel if we're looking at the lineup of OnePlus devices right now, it kind of goes 12R, then 11, then 12, then open. So when the 12R launches, I would imagine that the OnePlus 11 is going to dry up pretty quick. See if you can catch how much it's going to cost, because I don't know what it's going to cost. And you might want to opt for the 11 over the 12R depending on what your needs are. The 8 Gen 2 is an incredible chip. We're gonna talk about the 8 Gen 2 for years to come in the same way that we used to talk about the Snapdragon 865. You know, what's also kind of funny is I also really like that the 12R now also includes the same power button and volume rocker configuration where the OnePlus 11 has the volume rocker immediately opposite the power button. And so while the OnePlus 11 had my SIM card in for a while, I've got a lot of screenshots on this OnePlus 11 that I did not mean to take. You just go to hit the power button, and you feel the vibration. I took another screenshot. 8 Gen 2 will be attractive on the resale market for years. I mean, for years. The deals you're gonna get on phones from 2023 are gonna be shockingly good. I'm up in his Xperia Pro flexing. I got that 888. And Michael Corcoran, especially now that updates last longer. Absolutely spot on.